Hello, welcome to CoKo Plays Townscaper. With coffee. Of course. Can't play Townscaper without coffee. You just can't. It's not allowed. Oh, this little town is looking dope. So I get to start another little section today. And one of my goals is to get more green areas around the residential areas so that the people have somewhere green to grow. I meant to say green to go, but green to grow poetically works even better. Hey, the camera's running into some kind of limit on this side. Whoa, that's the first time I've experienced that. Maybe there is a left and right limit. I'm going to test something out. Okay, no. It's artificial. So, as long as I keep expanding, it keeps growing with me, which is what I expected. Good. I kind of want to try out, let me get the grid on. I want to try out different forms of green areas. I want to get to know their mechanics because I would like to be able to have a green area and then like an elevated area within it, but I wasn't really able to accomplish that before. So if I enclose this, if I make the outer edge, let's use green. So I think it's got to be completely enclosed. And nothing if it's just water. And it's surface until I fill it all in. Alright, so now that it's all filled in, it's green. And I can build little structures, but if I build an enclosed area, still green. Yeah? What if I fill it in? Still good. That's confusing. I thought I had experienced that it turns into surface at some point. Oops, didn't mean to make that thing. Like when I was working on this, the interior was green until I did something. But what? Interesting. I should have tested this out somewhere where I might keep it, because here it's too close to the other one. I would probably do it somewhere like here to kind of spread out the green areas. But I think what I'd rather do in general is to put little green areas. And unfortunately, I don't really like unless I had done an entire perimeter and surface so that it's one big giant green area. Like as if it's like a fortified city with outer walls. And then, inside there's just plenty of room for, like crops and cattle and stuff. But that's a very different city than like a Venice type city. With like canals and water. And you can't really have both. Like the second I pierce this outer wall, the green is lost. It's got to be completely enclosed. Hello, Phoenix Ranger. How's it going? Happy, it'll please you to know that it is indeed Tuesday. Once the week starts, it's hard to keep track. Next week is Memorial Day, so we, in America, we got Monday off. But that's next week. Yeah, time travel movies, they always make it seem like time travel is so hard. And narratively that works, and that's why they do it. And that's all that matters, so I'm not actually complaining. But it's just a fun observation that, like, if you got Time Machine, you're never in a rush. You can go whenever you need to. If you mess up, try again. Again, Back to the Future at the end, when Doc comes back and sets up the sequel, saying, like, we got to go right now. It's about your kids. Like, it doesn't matter when they go into the future to deal with that problem. Like, give the guy, like, a week to return to his old life and recover from his adventures in the first movie before you drag him on another thing. It's like, you're not in any rush. You can travel to any point in time whenever you feel like it. Okay. So, based on my little test there, I can have little green pockets with stuff inside, like a castle town. The thing is, it doesn't pair well with this water-based town. Like, I'm absolutely not going to surround my entire town with both a wall and surface, the whole thing. I like the water better. But I will put in these little green pockets. I think that's a good hybrid. And you can think of it like, if you're a resident in these communities, I'd also like to have a little bit of green within the neighborhoods. I should do a better job of that. Some of them do. Like, there's a couple courtyards that have some green, but nowhere near enough. So as I build now, I want to keep some green within the neighborhoods and also have some like dedicated green spaces with maybe a few houses for, imagining utility like maintaining farming equipment and, I don't know, Airbnbs out in the countryside. So let's do a green space over here. I think this is asking for one. This is the old neighborhood. We're getting back to the original neighborhood, the first things I ever built. I wonder like which part of the neighborhood I started at. I could probably remember. It was a long time ago. Like this tall tower came pretty early in my messing around. This was before I was streaming this stuff. I was just messing around with the game. This one's pretty old. These like white L-shaped things are pretty old. They're amongst the oldest. Yeah, I think this stuff here is like the oldest. Oh, I just got an idea. Ooh, I've been keeping these gaps to separate the neighborhoods, which is awesome. But what if instead of like, no, okay, I was gonna say, what if instead of like bridges and gap, it was green areas? Not the whole thing, but just like to get from neighborhood to neighborhood, you pass through a green area. That would be cool, but it would necessitate a layer of housing to separate out the green area, and it would cut off like the water. I can't do that. That doesn't work. All right, but let's do one here, and let's do it right here, connected, very close to town. And maybe I can like, maybe I can make the wall not uniform in color. That should work. Let me test it out real quick on this wall. If I break that and then replace it, it still works. So the exterior wall does not need to be uniform color, which is good. So I can make it whatever I want. All right, I was going to switch up the color. I think there's a keyboard button for switching color. That might make this kind of stuff faster. But then I'd have to put down my coffee. Now, you know what I'll do? I'll make the shape, and then I'll go in and replace random. Green areas are a lot of clicking. They should have a fill function like Microsoft Paint. I wonder if this game is like open source. Yeah, I mean, paint buckets would be perfect. You could fill in surface, but you could also like recolor housing. Okay, green area, beautiful. But now we need to muck up the colors. So let's go down the row and let's randomly replace stuff. Sweet. I do think though that the color choice on the outside, which does play a role in designating the boundaries of like a building, had a role in the interior walls because it told the game engine that these are all little separate dwellings, and so there's a lot more walls now as a result. But I can clean that up when I do stuff in the interior maybe, or I don't even have to necessarily. All right, let's create a path. Maybe where you enter should be like a little uniform color. Sure, that works. All right, now this doesn't have to remain one story. I can make it taller. On the outside, I could add little extensions. All right. This is a cool little space. Yeah, I'll be honest. That's one of the issues with like this type of design is it's very enclosed, and usually in like residential planning of any kind, gated and enclosed spaces that are separated out from the rest of something are meant to be like exclusive things for the privileged. But we have a fantasy town here, so we're just going to imagine that these entrances are just open, right? You got to go through a door to get in because that's just the way it works. But anybody can get in. That's what we're going to say. Cool. That looks nice. I built it so close, though, that it kind of joins these two neighborhoods. That's okay. No biggie. All right, so now the old part of town has some green to work with. We got a big one over here, one over here. We'll probably want something green around this area. And maybe another small one here on the other side of the old town. I don't know, this neighborhood with all like the administrative stuff. I mean, a lot of times like cities with like big squares and stuff also have like national gardens or something. Yeah, you know what would be cool if I did like a semicircle. That would be a neat look. Let's try that out. Here I might want the entire exterior to be white. And maybe you get to it through these offices. We'll see. So how do I make like a semicircle? That's going to be the tough part. My best option might be to avoid these weird zones of the grid. Maybe start like here, give it a little breathing room. Well, this is not turning out like a hemisphere or a crescent moon shape. I'm worried of like changing this grid thing. Like you could alter the type of grid it is, I think. I'm worried about what that's going to do. So this is like just lighting. Let me try this. Okay, I think that's just lighting. And that's just the light source. The position. Okay, so you can't mutate the type of grid it is. Yeah, you know what? This path curves. We get a little messy here, but we can work it out. So, okay, we wanted to wrap all the way from here. It's only going to be like a couple tiles wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might start it here. Right. I could always fix weird shapes with like little extensions to it. It doesn't have to be a one wide wall, one tile wide wall. Why did I build the bottom wall first? Bruce Wayne Gardens. All right, where's it? Where's it going to connect? Maybe the side of this building. Okay, that's kind of a cool way to enter. All right, I think what I'm going to do is kind of use the other colors in here and make wall segments. All right, white can be the entrance because that's kind of cool. Maybe this yellow color. Is this the same one as this? Or are you the dirtier one? Yeah, you're this one. You can be that entrance. And then you can be, I guess, purple since it connects to purple. No, pink. I should hire an intern to fill in all these gaps for me. Why am I not drinking my coffee? I always just sit here holding it, and then it gets cold. You know, it might be kind of neat to segment this out. Let me do that after. You're hired. Yeah, when you go to the big investment banks and they look at your resume, this will be a good internship. They'll be impressed. I don't know. I see this number here, 999. Is that like an undo count of like how far back? Like maybe it might not be since I first started creating this town. It might be from this session. It keeps that in memory as a stack. So probably that. But as far as clicks since like the beginning of time, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean like an undo log while you're within a session seems feasible. The problem with keeping track of how many clicks, actually, you know what? I don't know. It could be done easily. All right, let's I want to do something with this. So if it's like, yeah, like a National Arboretum or something, there should be like a little monument here. We got the arches over there as monuments. What other? Obelisk? But I don't know. Obelisk is just like a tower because we only have buildings to work with. Yeah, I definitely think something like time lapse would be awesome to view its construction. That'd be a dope feature. But to accomplish it, yeah, you'd need to keep track of every placement in order. So it's like an undo log, um, but for preserved between games. It's totally feasible. I don't think it's something that couldn't be done. Because once you have like a whole replay log, then yeah, you could do time lapse features, all sorts of stuff. That's why I was kind of wondering if this like game is open source, because if it was, that could be something I would consider, you know, delving into the code and see if I could contribute. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want it divided, because I actually like it a little wide open for this gardens. I don't want it totally divided up. Hey, this kind of works actually. I like it. All right, that's good. Okay, so if we zoom out, We even got like a little triangular thing going on with the gardens. But I still want another one, a smaller one here in the other part of the old town. Maybe like a little small circle. Or, you know, circle-ish shape. I don't know, this town is feeling pretty complete. I had this identified as potential expansions area. I guess there's no reason why can't just keep growing it at will. That'd probably be a better... I think I'd much rather grow something like this over time than like call it done and then work on a new one. Because the larger this gets, the cooler it gets. It's still sectional if you want to like dive in. This roof deck here is kind of dumb. But whatever I did before, I'm just going to leave it. Oh yeah, I think we're in a good place to pause. I might switch it over to a little bit of wingspan when I get a new cup of coffee. Yeah, I'm just going to leave this up for a second. I'm going to go use the facilities, get a refill on coffee, and be back, and we can do some wingspan or maybe Mist, because I kind of know what to do in that game. Nah, but I'd want to do a stream titled Mist to complete that game. It'd be weird to just finish it tucked into a Townscaper stream. Anyway, I'll be back. Back in business. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, let's play a little bit of this Lord of the Rings, the Confrontation board game.
Just as night follows day, each light casts its own fateful shadow. Drawn by the wealth and prosperity of a flourishing kingdom, evil sorcery steals over the land.
I still haven't gotten to know the variant that well. Let's try the variant game where I'm the Fellowship side. And let's examine the characters we have to place. Timber's Sprite. So when attacked in solitary, can switch with an adjacent light character. Alright. Brother Soric. When attacked, can choose that no cards are played. Okay. Crown Champion, when defending, has strength value of his attacker. He also receives the ring should the king die. Desert or Badlands, I guess that's these two. So I'd want the Desert Raider to be up there to get to those tiles. So Dwarven Siege Crew provides a +1 bonus to adjacent characters, so I'd want them like in the middle. I can bring them up. Clockwork Dragoon. +2 in the Darkwood. Oh, so you can attack a solitary character in the Darkwood from anywhere. That's interesting. And I got 2 cards. Holy Command, so forces the Sauron side to move. And then retreat sideways or backwards in a battle. So I think I play that like right at the start of a battle to like override everything. Yeah, I don't have as good of idea of like the strategy I should be using with this variant game. Like the Fellowship characters are stronger and they have particular abilities that are really strong. Like +2 strength in the Darkwood would make him 6 strength, which is a lot. and the Sauron side characters are weaker than they are in the base game in terms of strength value. So I think like if you use these abilities effectively, you can really thin out the herd. But the key thing for me to remember is also that there's that character that they have that if they reach the Shire, I lose automatically. So I got to keep an eye out for them. Which one is it? Doombringer. So I gotta play a little bit of defense in a sense, while still trying to get Frodo up. Okay, so I have a couple options here. I wonder if I reveal the siege crew and get +1 strength, I can probably then decide no cards are played and win. Let's see. Okay. So that's something. Alright, so Shadow Master can replace a card with +4 strength, so that's an optional choice they have. So, assuming they can't always get to 7, I can force them to use a different card, though. So let's reveal the Siege Crew. Oh yeah, I was attacked. I didn't even need to reveal the Siege Crew. I probably shouldn't have because they're a little bit vulnerable close to the front line. Yeah, let's hang out here for a second. I want to get the Desert Raider into play in these two tiles while there's still lots of characters to leverage my ability. Can always retreat, I think. Let's try this. Can retreat forward, huh? Alright, I'm gonna continue the fight. I'm gonna ignore the strength. Dope. Okay, now I could actually use my ability and go attack into this area. Hey, there's the Doombringer. Good, good. Let's continue the fight. So they got retreat sideways, which they could use, which would be okay if they used. Ignore my text card, which doesn't really buy them much. Magic and +6 to get to 8. Maybe they'll do that, actually. I think they're gonna retreat. But +8, I might as well get to plus... Hey, if you want to use your no, you know what? I'm going to get to +9. Okay, I knew they were going to retreat. It's fine. Okay, so since he doubled up there, I can't attack with the Grey Tusker, which is what I was hoping to do. Alright, let's get the Clockwork Dragoon into the mix. Oh. Took the bait, huh? That's where you're gonna hang out, so you can't use Fire Vision or Magic. I don't really want to retreat, I think. I don't know. Maybe I do, because they're locked into this spot now, and I can go under them. I'm going to use my ability, and I'm going to go back here, because they can't move that character now. And I can use a Grey Tusker to attack the Darkwood here. Alright. So, Doombringer. Are you gonna magic and retreat again? You might. Go for it. Yeah, where are you gonna go now? Alright, let's use the... We got a lot of good positioning. A Desert Raider can help thin this out. Okay. I can live with that. And so you're gonna retreat backwards? You're just gonna waste my cards? I see. Maybe I just ignore you. So you can't, you already use your magic. You can't use your fire thing. So you can only use 1, 2, or 3. And I got 4. Okay. I don't think there's any chance for success for them. Yeah, there's no harm in revealing the siege crew. So they can do +1 and +3. So if they do +3, they get to 6. I don't want to retreat because they automatically defeat the siege crew. So I'm going to use magic. And then I can mess you up with whatever. Can force the light character to reveal a different battle card. Even if they do that, I guess the magic doesn't count. It's the card you play with the magic that'll count. But it won't matter. He can try that, and I can just do a different card. I guess he didn't even bother using it. Okay, let's bring the king in, and I think we're good. Ooh, actually, if I bring the king through, and he gets attacked by Doombringer, my card situation might pose a problem. Let's see what he's got left. He's got Ignore text and +1. Or is that me? Oh, that's him. Okay, so he can't defeat the king. And he did attack him anyway. Boom, you're dead. Of course you'll retreat, but I'll move here, and now that's it for you. Sure, attack the Grey Tusker. Have a good time. I can't actually retreat backwards, but I have no choice but to use this card. Hey, you ignored it. So which means I don't die. I stay put, and you get defeated. Nice. I win. That couldn't have gone better. That was absolute domination. Everything went right for me. I should take a screenshot. Very cool. Alright, I think I'm going to call it a stream. That was fun. And we'll continue with Myst and Baldur's Gate and other stuff next time. See ya. Have a good day and week.